we both grew up playing sports,
Yep.
a lot of
Yep.
sports.
Yep.
That was life.
Yeah, that's all you know.
That's all you know.
That's
It
it.
was nothing else in between. It was
Yeah.
sports, and that's it.
Yeah.
Why do you think sports is so big? Especially in the minority community.
I think more so it's a bonding mechanism for one. And with anything or with any race, whether you come from a family of lawyers, doctors, you tend to go towards what everybody in the family did. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah.
Or what everybody in the family likes or gravitate towards. So I think that's a big thing of its own.
Yeah.
Um, I know there's other cultures who immediately when their kids can read, they put them into coding. Teaching
Yeah.
them how to code. Things like that. So I think with sports for the minority community, because we're so good at it,
Mm-hmm.
it's what you just initially go to because it don't matter who you are, you're gonna naturally gravitate towards what you're good at,
That's true.
and that's what you're gonna put more of your energy into when there's something that that you're actually succeeding in. So I think that's why we kind of gravitate towards it a lot. Um, Outside of the financial aspect that a lot of us see it as. You know what I
Ticket,
mean? It's your
lottery
ticket.
ticket.
It's your
It's a
ticket.
ticket. Yeah.
It's your ticket out because most of us we're not coming from families that have any other option or any other viable, seeable option
That's
that
true.
we can see can really make a difference or that's reachable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I think sometimes what we fail to realize is becoming a professional athlete. That's probably statistically more out of reach than anything
Than
else.
anything.
You know what I
I
mean?
don't know what the percentage is off the
Yeah.
top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's no bigger than 3% of athletes per sport per capita that
Yeah.
actually make it to professional sports at the highest level.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. Even now with NIL deals with college, I
Yeah.
mean, even making it into college, I know it was the percentage of it was crazy
Was
low.
low.
It
Yeah.
was
For
low.
high schoolers coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It
yeah,
was real
yeah.
low. It
Let
was real
alone
low.
going Division 1.
Yeah, and we both did that.
Yeah, yeah,
So that and just to go on that same topic, I think it has a lot to do with seeing that end goal. You know, I think for us it was more of a sense of, that's our Wall Street.
yeah,
That's our Wall Street. That's
yeah,
our doctor. That's
yeah,
our,
yeah,
lawyer, things like that.
yeah,
And, we were naturally gifted at it. We
yeah,
didn't, I mean, we had to study, work, and do
yeah,
things, but naturally, we start at what, 4 or 5 years old, man?
yeah, yeah,
That's a long time. And then, a lot of us, if we don't go pro or if we do, it ends at what, 25? So that's 20
yeah,
years in the making of
yeah,
a goal that you've instilled in yourself and set for yourself
yeah,
at a young age. Your role models are, professional athletes, the Michael Jordans, the, you know, Terrell Owens, and,
yeah,
those type of Derek Jeters and things like that. Those are
yeah,
your role models that you look up to.
yeah,
You know, I couldn't name, a teammate that probably even knew, the top neurosurgeon,
yeah, 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 yeah.
or the top IT guy,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
What's the one dude who was I can't think of his name.
What?
Ben Carson? Is that his
Yeah,
name?
Ben
That's that.
Carson.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah.
he ran
That
for president or something,
okay.
right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the first neuro surgeon I ever heard
Yeah.
about. You know what
Yeah,
I
no,
mean?
same.
yeah, yeah,
Same.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
it, it, it was a guy that played at Florida State that now
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's Marion
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Roll. He
yeah, yeah.
played
One of them.
safety.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And he's actually gave up football
To do
to
it. Yeah,
pursue
yeah, yeah,
that. And I mean, he's real successful right now.
yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
he was kind of the first person that was highlighted as far as letting the world know I'm an athlete, but
Academics coming forth.
academics
Yeah,
is something that I'm
yeah.
pursuing as well, especially after I finish with football.
Yeah, he really stood on the fact of student athlete. He stood on
He
that.
stood on it.
Student
It
first.
wa-
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
wa-
yeah.
it firm,
yeah, yeah.
firm.
Yeah.
He didn't move, but I think it's such a big deal, like you said, man, with the financial aspect. Um, and for me, I would say it had to do with a lot of, you know, after school coaches picking me up, and
Yeah.
it kind of gave I guess my parents a sense of like, okay, you know, I know he's in good hands in a
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah,
I also think it's a brotherhood, man. You
yeah.
grow up
No,
with
that's
these
yeah,
guys,
yeah,
you start in little league, work your way up to high school and
yeah,
things like that. And I mean, you kind of stick to it. It's a community. It feels like a community.
yeah,
Feels
yeah,
like a
yeah.
family when you play sports too. So
Yeah, but most of your teammates that you have, especially depending on if you stay in a smaller city, from little league, you going all the way through up to high school with some of them boys.
same
You know what I
guys.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
So,
That's very
like you
much true.
say, it's a brotherhood for the most part. Like I say, so on top of the brotherhood and the fact of like you're so good at it, that's what you want to do.
Yeah,
You want to go do what you're good at.
that's true.
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
yeah, who does it? You
Who
know what I
doesn't
mean?
want to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
what they're good at?
We all want to go into what we succeeding at. So that plays a role in it. And like we say about the financial aspect of it, that becomes a big driving factor of it. Just off the simple fact that, like you say, it's your way out, and it's the only thing that you can see at that age.
It's feasible.
Yeah, yeah, that you can do. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. It's
It's the only
feasible.
thing that I can see right now that I can become a millionaire. That's what we think at that
That's
age.
true.
And sadly, that's what some of our parents, some of the people around us, that's
Believe
what
as
they
well.
think as well.
That's true. And
So
they push it.
yeah.
They push it hard, man. I mean, you couldn't miss practice. What
No,
do you
no,
mi-
no, no, no. You can
you
miss school before you miss practice. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can miss
yeah,
school
yeah,
before you
yeah,
miss
yeah.
practice, but you're not missing practice. I
Yeah,
don't care what you sit. Come on, you
yeah,
get out of this bed, you go to practice.
yeah. No, you're right.
Um, I think that uh really kind of shows a lot on how that community in a sense kind of rallies around that. What sport would you have played or went to school for if it wasn't football, or what we both went to school for, football? Is there a sport that right now looking back you would have been like
Oh yeah, baseball.
baseball for
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Baseball
yeah, yeah,
without a doubt. I mean, because I was playing baseball, but I
yeah,
just tell everybody, especially depending on what side of the minority community you come from, whether it's Hispanic or black minority, whatever it may
yeah,
be. Um, Obviously, baseball is pushed more in Hispanic, and
yeah.
soccer too.
That's true.
But soccer, that's a totally different animal of itself to even have a chance to even become
Yeah, that
pro yeah with
that's
that.
yeah.
But baseball for sure, I would have, and I think the reason why I didn't go or decide to play baseball in college is because it just wasn't. It ain't a glory sport.
It's
It
not.
ain't. It ain't the sport.
It's not
It's boring.
to a
Luckily,
lot of people.
yeah,
Yeah,
to a lot of people. That's why they added the pitching clock now.
yeah,
For 15 seconds.
yeah.
But it's a boring sport for the most part of what people see it as, and especially when you're at that age. All you see is, or all you think about is the same amount of people not coming out to the baseball game as the football game.
They're not, and
You know? Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
cheering as
yeah.
hard. There's no band.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I
man.
don't even know if the cheerleaders come in college
Nah, ain't no
or even
cheer.
pro. It's
There ain't no cheerleaders. Ain't nothing.
the
Ain't nothing.
ambiance isn't the
Yeah, it
same.
ain't the
Yeah,
same,
yeah, it's
man.
not the
It just
same.
ain't the same.
Man, I'll tell you what. The first time I remember Little League, it was Pop Warner. I played for this team called the Raiders. Right,
Yeah,
I played for the Raiders. Man, I remember most of the time my highlight was kind of running out with the cheerleaders around you. I had to be 5 years old
yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. But they would line up in the line and you would run out. They would make a banner or
yeah, yeah,
something like that, man. And that was exciting to know that, you had girls your age in a sense,
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of being
yeah,
out
yeah,
there cheering you on and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then you got, your family on both sides and everything, the opposing team. But you're right, and for me, I would have chose basketball.
yeah.
I would
Okay,
chose
okay,
basketball.
okay.
I was pretty tall at a young age,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and basketball I would say was my first love, but I loved football more.
yeah, yeah,
It was something about it. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
what it
yeah,
was. It was a little bit different for me. And I played baseball too. I
yeah,
played baseball growing up. I actually loved baseball,
yeah,
but I would have done basketball until I went to certain camps, did good, made all sorts of things, stuff like that.
yeah,
But basketball, when you get to like nitty gritty of it,
Yeah.
it's a select sport.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
has to be. I mean, it's a 15-man roster.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be at the top of your game to go D1, like to
Yeah.
actually go pro in this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, it, and that's everybody's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know
Everybody
what I
good.
mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's different. No,
Yeah,
it's definitely different. So, but like I say, I think that's just that's just one of them things where it's like I say, you get so invested in this sport, and you see everything that comes around it. And it's the only thing that's giving that young mind that dopamine
dopamine. Yeah,
effect to where you just this is it. It's the rush that you're looking
yeah,
for.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
the rush that you're looking for. And so that's really what it is. You become so invested in it. You training your whole life. You working your whole life to get to this, and it's like this what I want. You know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
nothing else is getting in the way.
Nothing else matter. Nothing
Yeah,
else matter.
nothing else matter.
Yeah, nothing else matter, man. And so I mean, but I guess even the kind of jump off of that is that do you think we'll ever put as much energy into becoming entrepreneurs, business owners as we do sports and football, especially at a younger age, like developing them skills at a younger age to say, at 7, 8 year olds, we're building them up to become business owners. Not the next Barry Sanders
Yeah,
or Randy Moss or
yeah,
whoever else
yeah,
may be. We building them up to actually become business owners. You ever think we'll put that type of investment or investment
yeah.
into the kids
From a surrounding standpoint or in general, more or
overall?
less.
Because
Overall,
because think
I
about
think so. I think I think right now in 2023 with social media, everybody you see being successful in different avenues
yeah,
and showing their success in those avenues, and actually, it's more accessible, man. I mean,
okay,
and I'm gonna come back to topic, but man, it used to be a time you couldn't look at people running certain drills and, going to certain camps and things like this and learning techniques and
yeah,
things without
yeah,
being like actually present with your coach or doing it by
yeah,
yourself. Now,
yeah,
I mean, you can look up anything on how to, improve your game, improve your sport. And it's the same thing with entrepreneurship.
yeah,
There's so much out there now with people telling you how to become an entrepreneur, how to
yeah,
become successful. And I think eventually it will blend together to where young kids that may, when we were growing up, would have been pushed fully towards sports.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
they'll
yeah.
have that option to be like, hey, I want to go this route,
I see what you're saying.
you
Yeah,
know,
I see what you're saying.
based off of what they're indulging in,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. I see
know?
what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I mean, no, that's a good point. That's a good point. And the reason why I say too about investing, I'm talking about even from the financial aspect, because me and you both know,
It takes,
it takes some money
yeah,
um from a kid to really put into the proper training that you need, um going to the proper camps,
yeah, it
getting
does.
paying for the right coaches at that. You know what I mean? So that's why when I ask about do you think we'll ever invest that much money into our kids from that standpoint, because sometimes, man, I mean,
No,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and the reason I say that with such certainty is because I believe it's still that thought process. That's a ticket.
Yeah.
That's a ticket. So
Yeah.
I'll invest this now, higher risk, high reward.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
risk
Yeah.
this now for the greater on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a lot of people don't understand how beneficial it may be to push the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I think you'll still spend that money on the camps, drive to all these games,
Yeah.
do summer, spring, fall ball, winter ball,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever sport. And being in Florida, man, it's year round with sports.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
it's a,
Yeah. For
it's a
sure.
never stop. It never stops.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? You think it'd come to that, or
Man, I mean, because you got a
honestly.
point. I mean, because this is the thing to say that you wouldn't invest that same type of money into your kid's education, into potentially becoming a business owner or an entrepreneur of some sort. That almost seems like you don't believe in them. You only
Yeah,
believe in them for this one thing,
yeah.
and it's a limited belief system that you start to develop,
Mm-hmm.
and that even coincides with the idea that our parents or some of our parents feel like sports is the only way out. So now you're only willing to invest this money into me because I can become an athlete. But what if I can become, I'm not even saying in the next
Seems a little
Bill
bit
Gates.
selfish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
if you way you put it,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying I can become the next Bill Gates or will become the next Bill Gates, and that your child would be that. But they might build $1 billion business, but what if they build a $5 million business?
Yeah,
A $10 million business. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you're not believing in the child the way that you should.
yeah.
Like you say, it's selfish almost.
I agree
This is what I want to invest in. So I'm not going to invest my money into this
because I don't believe.
because I don't believe in it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah,
now when you
yeah.
start thinking about things that way, how many kids get lost because maybe they might have some brilliant ideas,
I,
you
I,
know?
I mean, hey, I'll be the first to tell you it. It was sports or nothing,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
taken away
yeah.
because I did all honors AP
Uh-huh.
classes and did the education side, but
Yeah.
it got to the point where I'm like, man, no, I'll play
Yeah.
ball. What you mean? That went out the window.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I put aside, and I think a lot of kids do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
put
yeah, yeah.
aside my mental for my physical.
Yeah.
You get what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean? I
yeah.
put aside my mental capacity, knowing I can probably succeed in engineering, architecture,
Yeah.
things like that, and then focus no solely on this is what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
took certain amount of classes to make sure I was D1 eligible for clearinghouse,
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, only for the sole purpose of going D1
Yeah,
or
yeah,
playing the
yeah.
sport.
Yeah.
Um, you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Now, I mean, you mean which parts in regards to the
In regards to, do you think the mental, if you're pushed in one direction, do you think you kind of put that to the side in a little bit more on the selfish aspect if that's what you're being invested in more?
yeah. No,
Yeah,
no, yeah, you naturally doing that. I mean, even if you want to call it putting all your eggs in one basket, I mean, that's essentially what you're doing. I mean,
that is.
because you feel like in your mind, I have to do that in
Yeah,
order to make it. And in reality, that is what you got to do.
that is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you
That
got a
is what
point.
you got to do.
You got a point. You got
You
a
you
point. Do
got
you feel like sports helped you or hurt you, man? What do you?
um a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of both. And the reason why I say that is because I already knew what I wanted to do outside of sports.
That's
That
rare.
that
You
was
know
all.
that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know that.
that's
Yeah.
rare.
I already knew what I wanted to do, and the thing was with me was that probably I would say going into my freshman year, it wasn't until my sophomore year when I first really started making some money because I was able to kind of connect with some people and start really diving into what I wanted to do outside or once football was over with.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always knew I didn't want to just play no football.
Yeah,
I would have talks with my brother and say, man, I'm gonna do my first contract, get the money, then that's it.
that's it.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
I got
I'm
you.
not trying to play this like that,
Got you. Yeah.
Um, but it goes back into sophomore year, I started being able to make some money. So now I understand now, okay, I don't necessarily gotta go to the league to get the money that I need
Yeah.
to do the things that I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now junior year roll around, okay, now I'm even a little deeper into what I want to do outside of sports.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I can't turn around now. And I came too far. I got to see this through
Yeah.
now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what it came. That's what it came down to. So now I had another 3 to 5 years of my life that I essentially just rolled out because I'm saying I got to see this through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
When in
Exactly.
reality, what I wanted it for, I was already doing. I was already able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So now I had to ask myself, or I was asking myself back then, was like, okay, how much farther could I have got if I would have stopped playing at 19, 20 and
Mm.
just said, it's whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
much farther could I have been in life at 23, 24, 25? Even though I was at the 1% of any 23, 24-year-old
at that time,
at
yeah.
that time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
even though I'm at the pinnacle of everything, it's still that thought process of how much farther could I have been
Yeah,
if
definitely.
you know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's what I mean by in the sense of you become almost you become loyal to something that you no
That's not
longer.
loyal to you,
Yeah, that's not
in a
loyal to you.
sense.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you don't have to be loyal to it no more. Um, that's what starts to happen, because now you just feel like I got to do it.
yeah,
I got to do it. I already started it. You know what I mean? I'm here. In your mind, you saying I'll be a fool or selfish to just turn around now.
yeah. I
Even
put
though
all
it's
this in.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Even though this ain't really what I care to do in the long term,
yeah.
I gotta walk through it now. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So that's how I would say that it hurt me because it did hold me back, to a certain extent because I put a lot of things on pause because I was
Yeah,
doing this. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
I
And you
totally get
already
it.
know, as a professional athlete, college athlete, bro, this is it. Like, what else you gonna do? You got, you know what I mean? Like, you got no time for nothing
You
really
you
else,
don't.
man. You know,
It's full time, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
You don't got
yeah,
time for nothing else really to that extent to really put your all into it.
yeah.
Um, so I would definitely say that. I mean, but
I
what you
mean,
think?
well, me and you had a lot of conversations off camera, of
Yeah,
course, about sports and life
yeah,
after
yeah, yeah,
sports and things. I would say it was good for me for the experience of, you know, exposure and traveling and
yeah,
getting to know different environments, different people, things like that. I'll never trade that for the world.
yeah,
Never. I won't, because I know people that didn't get to experience
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And there are stories I could tell that are like subjective to me and my experiences
yeah,
that
for sure.
may seem astronomically crazy, like, you know,
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I know what
California
you're saying.
nights, or,
Yeah.
being somewhere else, or whatever
Yeah,
the case may be. But when I, if I'm in a room by myself and I look back and I think about it,
yeah,
I could say it hurt me.
yeah.
And I could say it hurt me because I'm the type of person, when I'm passionate about something, I give it
You
my
all
all.
in. Yeah, you all in.
I'm not the type of person that goes half ass when
Yeah,
it comes to something I'm passionate about.
yeah,
It can
yeah,
go for, relationship, family,
yeah,
whatever. If I'm passionate about it, you're gonna get 110% out of me. It
yeah.
could be a good 110%, it could be a bad 110%, but you're
Yeah.
gonna get that
Yeah,
side of me.
you gonna get the worst, the
You go,
worst or the best.
yeah, exactly. But I'm
Yeah.
100. I'm passionate. I'm head first.
Yeah,
I'm jumping in the deep end. It
yeah,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
But I would say it hurt me because, at a young age, I set my goals for myself,
yeah,
and I set my goals, and I accomplished most of them. I mean, if not all, when it came to
yeah,
sports related.
yeah,
So, but I would say, it hurt me because it was hard to adjust after the fact. I had
yeah.
to, now look at the real world and,
Yeah,
be like, okay, I know I went to school for this,
yeah,
studied this, I
yeah,
know
yeah, yeah,
this,
yeah.
but damn, it's a football game on. I can't even watch it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
or something along those natures, or even going to watch like a high school game or
yeah,
something like that. It's taking me back, like, dang, I could have did more,
yeah,
or I was supposed to be here, or, and a lot of people go through that
yeah,
experience and they get lost in that transition.
yeah,
And I mean, and it takes a lot of mental
yeah,
aptitude to kind of get out of that,
yeah.
and to understand there's more to life than sports.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cause I think even with that, bro, you have to think I had one foot in the door and one foot out. So that's what made it easier for me.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah, 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 yeah. I was
mean?
4 feet in,
Yeah.
planted.
You know,
Like,
I was one
yeah,
foot in, one foot out.
yeah,
So it was almost like I'm just looking for a reason.
yeah.
You know what
I
I
got you. I
mean?
got you.
I'm looking
Yeah,
for a
yeah.
reason. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
so like that was kind of like my that's what made it easier for me, which I know that. You know what I mean? Because I'm playing with other dudes who I know this all they got.
Yeah,
In their mind, it's it. If I don't do this, what else is it? They can't, it's nothing else you can tell them that's
This-
gonna make sense in their head.
That's true.
You know what I mean? To say, hey man, just maybe give it one more year, then that's it.
No,
No, man. That don't, you know what I
no,
mean?
that don't even.
That don't even
You
sound
speaking
right.
Chinese,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
you're speaking a foreign language.
Yeah, you
How
know.
about that? You're
Yeah,
speaking a foreign language. It doesn't
yeah.
register at all. And I
Exactly.
mean, I've had some. What do you think about Plan B? I said,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's Plan?
Exactly.
You know, my mind goes to the other, like, oh, I'm good. I know where to get Plan B from.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm like, this is Plan A until Plan A isn't Plan A anymore,
Yeah.
and then there'll be another Plan A,
Yeah.
whatever that is. But this is Plan A.
Yeah.
So it is a thing, and that's where I would say it hurts. Where
Yeah. No,
you
no,
know,
no, it
then
does.
then
It
more of
does,
it
bro.
helps.
It really does, because you gotta remember, man, up until maybe about 28, 29 years old, I mean, I remember still dudes who I played with, they were still going.
Yeah,
Still going strong. And me, I'm 4, 5 years
yeah,
removed.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, come on over here. Like this was go. Man, they not trying to
They're
hear
not
nothing
trying to
I'm
hear any of
saying.
that. Yeah,
Man, you talking crazy right now. You know,
exactly,
like,
exactly, exactly.
that's really what it became. It became, but that's what I will say. That's what made it easier for me, because I was already 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
So was it hard to adjust after?
Nah,
No.
it wasn't hard at
Yeah.
all. Then that's why, because I already knew.
Where did that come from? Where did was it something in you, or just
You,
what you were seeing within your daily life in a
you know
sense?
what's crazy, man? And this is sad, and it's sad, but it's the reality. I didn't want to be looked at as someone or athlete, or let me rephrase that. I didn't want to be looked at as I got my money from sports.
Mm,
And that stereotype that come behind it. Like I couldn't do nothing else,
but do this.
do this to get money.
Yeah.
I didn't want that stereotype on me. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that played in my mind all the time. Because I knew I was more than just an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
That's
knew how
true.
my mind thought and what I could do mentally. You know what I mean? But I always understood that if I hit a certain amount of money in football, it don't matter what I do, it's
You're gonna
always
be
gonna
known for
say
that.
he got his money from football.
Football. That's
And
true.
that's what I didn't want. So that's why I kind of, it wasn't hard to adjust, because I was already prepared in the sense of lining everything up to make sure this wasn't how I was perceived. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this was,
Perception is
yeah,
everything.
perception. Listen, because man, I will go out or go places, and I be with the team, whatever. And people ask, you play football or you play sports.
Hmm.
Unless they asked,
I mean,
that
tell them.
wasn't something like I was
Yeah.
leading with. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because
Yeah.
that wasn't
Exactly.
something that I wanted to be on Front Street.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that. You know what I mean? For me, it was more so of, like I say, I wanted to be known as, sports wasn't how I became successful or got my money,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And then want to have that label and that jacket put on me as just another just dude that just,
No, that
regardless of what it is or how you try to frame it, like you say, perception, he got his money from
that's
sports.
a really good mindset to have,
Yeah,
especially at that age. And playing sports as
yeah,
deep as you did. I would say for me, and playing sports as deep as I did, the adjustment was difficult.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And like I said, I knew I had like the abilities to do other things,
yeah,
but I felt like I put so much pressure on myself for one. Also, I put so much into building, not say building that identity, but that became my
yeah,
identity.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that was more of the toughest thing than not playing it.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah,
can go and play pickup and enjoy the sport and
yeah,
love that, but it was the identity that kind of came with it. And I think that's what a lot of former athletes struggle with,
yeah,
is the identity that they had with what they did,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's no longer, if someone does ask you, well, I get asked a lot,
yeah,
"Hey, you play sports or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
whatever," and I'm like, all right,
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah,
I
yeah,
say
yeah,
no, not anymore, or I used to, or
yeah,
what the conversation,
yeah,
and I don't like when it leads with that while I'm not
yeah.
playing
Well,
it,
we get that
because
all the time.
We
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Even when it was a few times, I know one time specifically, we went out. The dude just kept looking you in the face and said, "Where I know you from?"
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah,
exactly, exactly.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, and when you have stature like you and me,
yeah,
it
yeah,
happens. And I mean, but that just comes from years and years of doing this. And
yeah,
yeah, man, I would say it was difficult, but now I would say,
yeah.
I'm at a place of, contentment,
Yeah, it's
and I can
easier.
look back and be happy with the goals I accomplished,
Yeah, yeah,
things like that. And that's, I give my pat on my back for
yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah,
So, because I know a lot of people have not accomplished what we've accomplished, or,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
No, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
even with all that being said, would you do it again?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah,
And I said that quick because you can't trade the experience.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm only going off of the experience.
yeah,
Now, would I trade it to do something else and experience something else? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I would. But I'm gonna be blood raw honest with you. No.
You want to trade?
I wouldn't trade it.
Yeah, you want to trade
I
it?
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure your answer may be
No, man. I mean, in all honesty, I'm a big I'm big on
fate.
everything. Yeah, faith and everything happens
Happens
for a
for a
reason.
reason. Yeah, yeah.
So in all
Same.
honesty, man, I wouldn't trade it because I don't know if I had the life I have right now if I didn't go through that same course.
That's true.
Because saying like you say, experiences. I met people through sports.
Yeah,
That had nothing to. I mean, they played sports or they were involved with sports, whatever. But they did things outside of sports, which allowed me to grow my companies the way I have, and
yeah.
to grow them as fast the way that I did because of some of the connections that I built through sports.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's true.
So I wouldn't necessarily say that I wouldn't do it again. I think I would do it again. I think I just would do it
Different mindset,
different
maybe.
mindset, exactly.
Yeah,
Different
different mindset.
mindset, different mindset. And when I say different mindset, is that the moment what I wanted to do was put on display, I would have just I would have made that transition
Yeah,
a
flip
lot
the
easier,
switch. Yeah,
That's definitely what I would have did, man. That's what I would have did. And like I said, I just wish you know, everybody, like you said, had the experiences that we had when it
I
when it
do
came to
too.
sports. When it came
Because
to
it's
sports.
sometimes, man, and me and you talk off camera about
Yeah.
our experiences and things. It's hard to relate
Yeah, yeah, it's hard
when
to
you
relate.
talk to it.
Yeah, yeah, other people can't relate to it. Yeah, yeah.
You can't relate. But good conversation.
Yeah, yeah, great conversation.
Again, with things we've experienced.
Yeah,
And sports has been our life for a long time. Great conversation
yeah,
without consent.
yeah. Till next time. Till next
Till
time.
next time, brother.